Good afternoon, everybody. We're live in the pits of Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. I got a line of special guest, NHRA top fuel funny car driver, Jack Wyatt. How you doing, Jack?
Hey, doing good, man. I'm doing good.
So I know that this year didn't quite go the way you would like to it have ended.
We struggled along. We had, some math races and a couple of national events, but, like usual, we always struggle trying to not find enough funding. And we do what we can do, but we've been changing a lot of stuff trying to keep up with these guys now as they're trying to go 340 mile an hour.
Yeah. Well, at least you and like you said on one of your posts, at least you and Dale, both cars came out, okay at the end.
Yeah, that was close. I'll tell you what, it's one of those deals that you don't think about it when it happens, and then you think about it when you get out, you go, wow, that could have been huge, and put a couple of low-funded teams out of business, pretty quick, So you face the reality of that every time, but you shouldn't really think about it. And luckily, my car didn't do well, and his, turned sideways, and it all came out on the good end, I guess. But other than that, we didn't qualify. But at least we came home with all the parts.
Yeah, the cars just get faster and faster, man.
They're getting a lot quicker early, and they're mean to drive. To be honest with you, I've been driving the funny car now for 40 years, and now that we've got the headers laid way back, they're accelerating so fast, the half track and stuff now. They're mean to drive. I mean, even if you try to make it correct, they don't want to. They don't want to come back, and so it's more challenging. I love it, and hopefully we can find enough money to come back out next year and swing with these guys and keep up with them. At least we're out there running with them.
They look at top fuel dragster with Brittany setting that record.
That was pretty nice. I tell you what, especially in Vegas, and to be honest with you, I ran my first second run in Vegas. You would think that that wouldn't be the place to do it, but the racetrack's awesome. The air's dry. You got to put a lot more weight on them and stuff, but like I say, the track's good. So to see him run that, it didn't surprise me. He's been knocking on the door, all year. From last year, I actually liked him 2 years ago when he started on the Parks Plus car with Clay Milliken. I liked him, and he's a talented guy. And to go back over to Forces and completely switch to all the John Force Ford stuff, and he recovered pretty quickly. It proves it right there. Before the season's over, he's top notch. I don't take nothing away from him. He's a good tuner.
Yep, I agree with you on that one. So let me rewind the clock back with you, Jack, and ask you how did you get into drag racing years ago?
Well, my brother took me to my first drag race when I was a kid. I was only about 12, 13 years old, and actually the drag strip was a close highway. They would do it on a Sunday afternoon right close to home there. And I just, when I seen it, I go, boy, that was really awesome. I really wanted to do that. And as the years progressed, before long, we moved to town, and I moved next door to a guy that had a front engine dragster, and I started hanging out with him, and I seen my first nitro funny cars when I was about 12, and I said, that's what I want to do. And, I got my alcohol funny car license at 19 at Cordova World Series, and just been running funny cars every year. I had no desire to run the top fuel car. I had some desire to own one and maybe put somebody in it, but to take and drive one of them, I don't have any desire to do that. Funny cars, that's in my blood. That's what I want to do.
So the first vehicle you ever raced in was a funny car?
Actually, the first car I ever had was a 1948 Anglo, which most people nowadays don't know really what they are, but they're worse than a Pro Mod. The wheelbase on them is only about 78 inches long, and they're just a little boxy English Fords, what they were. And I had one of those built. I was too young to drive it, and I found a guy that would drive it for me. And I had some guys an older gentleman that took me under his wing like a second father, and he still treats me like a dad. He taught me what to do, and we got it put together and run it, and done very well with it. And then I right away wanted to build a funny car, so I built my first funny car when I was 19 years old and got my license with it. So, yeah.
Wow. So what was the experience like for you the first time ever going down a drag race track?
When I was a kid, it was so overwhelming. I can't even explain it. I don't remember. That's been so long ago. But the biggest thing I really remember was I ran an alcohol funny car for 11 years, and when I switched to nitro funny car, the first burnout I did with a nitro funny car was at Union Grove, Wisconsin. At the end of the burnout, I really thought I had bit off more than I could chew. Between the smell, of course, the fumes is overwhelming, the noise, and then when we stepped on the gas, don't get me wrong, it was pretty exciting. But you really go, wow, I'm not sure that this is where I want to go. But within a couple of races, so we've done really well. In fact, I got runner-up at the American Hot Rod Association Summer Nationals, beating Johnny West driving Roland Hill's Hawaiian Punch car there, and went on to the finals and got outrun by, I believe his last name was Van Zandt. We had a funny car called the Insanity Corvette, and they outrun me. And from then on, it was like nitro was all I ever wanted, and I would never go back to alcohol or anything else. I'd go buy me a boat before I ever go back down.
So with the Aka car, did you have success driving that one?
I've done really well with it. In fact, back in the day when NHRA was really, really big, competing with NHRA, I finished runner-up champion with it. And in NHRA, I finished runner-up in Division 5 against the late great groups. I ran against a lot of great racers. We had and done very, very well with that. Match raced a lot. Actually made a living with it for a little while there. And it just one of the deals where it was everybody could go out and buy an alcohol funny car and be successful as long as they bought one from Brad Anderson or whatever, and do well with it. And I go, no, I want to change this because money, I don't have money. So I built a nitro funny car, and back then you could use all kinds of recipes and do success with nitro funny cars then. Nowadays, it's kind of getting like that now. If you want to be competitive, you need to buy a Schumacher car or a Coletta car, and to be competitive, and that's what it takes now. But we're gonna hang in there. My career's not over. I'm gonna keep pecking away at it. Hopefully, I find enough money just to keep at least be out there and run with them. It's one of the deals. Hey, world championship, is always on the table, but it would take a lot of money and a lot of stuff to get there. So we're just hanging back, and as long as we can compete with them, be on the stage with them, that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
So you said you debuted your nitro funny car at Great Lakes Dragway?
Back in the day, yes. That was the first place I ran, and I used the fuel pump, and I had an old brand of fuel pump on it, and I went over and bought a fuel pump from, back in the day, I bought it, actually, bought it from the Chi-Town Hustler guys. A guy by the name of Austin Floyd bought it from him, and he set me up with it and told me how to put it on the car and how to run it. And I had another guy by the name of Jerry Newman, who was very well known nowadays, helping run nostalgia funny cars, helped me with it, and from there, we got a good start and tear up a lot of stuff and ran really well with it.
Yeah, those were the days when he had the long, smoky burnouts.
That's what really they've taken away from the show. A lot of guys do short burnouts anymore. And of course, the tire compound has changed, so they don't smoke as well. But basically, you do that burnout. I remember backing up at Union Grove on a Saturday night, or Martin, Michigan at the Popular Hot Rodding Deal, or Cordova World Series, and you couldn't hardly see to back up. I mean, you really literally stop sometimes to make sure you were still in the racetrack. That's how much smoke there was. And we've taken that out of the show, and it's kind of sad because that's what the people liked. Besides the noise and everything, they love the smoke and the smell of nitro. So, yeah, we had that back.
Yeah, and the dry hopping.
Yeah, that was always cool. Yeah, we did a lot of that, a story I can tell when I got my license, we ran on Friday, and then Saturday night was the big show, and I came out there and done the burnout. When I left the starting line, the lights went off on the racetrack, and that's what he would do. He would literally turn some of the lights off so that way the header flames were bigger and stuff. And I thought I got knocked out or something. So yeah, it was not good. but it taught me how to drive some pretty bad racetracks, in nitro. So I got a pretty good lesson on how to drive one of these things.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever watch any of those, the funny car cast videos on like Facebook or anything. You get to see a lot of the long smoky mouths and dry hopping with those guys.
They're bringing that back, and that's one good thing they are doing, and that's what we really need to do something because we've taken away a lot of the show. You know what I mean? I mean, don't get me wrong. The ET and the scoreboard's all cool, and I can't remember what old drag racer told me. Because instantly it told what the ET was, and of course everybody's got iPhones and all that stuff. Now you can even look at your iPhone. Guys can look at my ETs from the track increments to the finish line and they know it before I even get out of the race car. And technology has really changed drag racing, so we need to get something to get it back to where it's a show. Back in the day, if you had two funny cars go out there and smoking the tires and almost running into each other, and nobody gives up, until the finish line, people be on their feet screaming, and that's kind of what I think drag racing lacks. A lot of times you'll sit in the grandstands now and watch two low ETs and maybe even a track record, and everybody just goes, oh, ho, hum, and then wait for the next pair to come up. So we need to do something to give it more exciting back.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. So.
So now, when you take
But,
the funny car out, how many crew members you have? Will you?
I usually try to take 4 or 5 with me. I mean, that's the minimum that it takes. I've worked with a lot of big teams like Morgan Lucas and Bob Vandegrift, on 2 or 3 cars of his, and actually we were on Del Morsham's funny car whenever he rents it out and he runs it last year and this year. That's the maximum you can do it with. When you have a big team, you need to like 9 or 10 guys, honestly, to do it correctly. Especially when you're going rounds on Sunday when you only got 60 minutes to turn it around and stuff. You need that many talented guys to be able to get things ready to go for Sunday and be able to turn it around and make sure it's safe and mechanically correct when it goes to the starting line every time. So, but I take my really good friends of mine that are all talented guys that have been drag racing for a long time. My son goes with me. He's one reason why I keep drag racing. He still wants to do it. So he's the I've got a really talented guy by the name of Paul Abbott. He actually works for the state race teams like in the past. He's now actually helping uh, Mike Ashley's son. So, you take talented guys like that, then you can take some guys that you can train, kind of work them in, and we don't lay back. We can't go with that. We try to make it Friday night and then come out Saturday and make it 2 laps there. Hopefully we get in, we can win on Sunday. But with the guys like those, they're talented enough and pretty minimal, and we overwork them, but they really enjoy it, and we have a good time, and I make sure that they have a good time, so it all works out.
So what sponsorship do you have right now?
The only thing I have is very, very few. I have a guy by the name of Dry Sump Oil Pumps out of Columbia, Missouri, and he's been a real factor on the car this year, keeping it out there. We've got a company that owns several John Deere tractor dealerships along with Napa stores, and so we get a lot of stuff from our Napa store nearby us that help us. Other than that, we just get a lot of product sponsors and a lot of guys that want to see us still out there, and so they help me out with parts and that kind of stuff, and that's about all I got, really.
So now, when you first got into drag racing, Jack, like back when you started All-Car Funny Car, did you have any inspirational drivers out there that were inspirational to you?
Yeah, back then, the guy that really inspired me was a guy by the name of George Hoover. He was crew chief on Tom Hoover's funny car, and he was an idol of mine. And in fact, he actually worked for me in the '90s when I switched to Nitro. He was one of the guys that taught me into doing it. And as for driver Vern Motes, ever since I was a kid, I watched Vern Motes, and of course, Willie Borsch when I was a really young kid. I actually started out to build a few acres back in the day, and Willie Borsch was one of my idols. Of course, the Snake and Mongoose, they were a big time deal when you were a kid, and as you grew up. And I actually got to race against Tom McEwen several times and got to know him a little bit, and that was really, really cool. And I knew Don a little bit, but we never really got close and that kind of stuff. I kind of regret didn't spend more time over there because he's a talented guy and he's funny too to be around. So they're just, I've had a lot of guys, and I've been very blessed with a lot of the talent that's come through and a lot of other drivers that's helped me, and the friendships I've made. That's the reason why I'm able to keep racing.
So for you to be passionate about drag racing all these years? It's all about the friendship.
About what?
It's all about the friendship.
The friendship's really all of it because really, by the time you start racing, when I started out when I was 14 years old and I progressed through, I actually, the guy that I told you about that helped me drag race back when I was 14 years old, it's a local guy, 77 bars. When I was with Morgan Lucas, we won the U.S. And the thing about it was, when we won it, I was able to call him up and I asked him what year that him and his friends had taken me to the U.S. Nationals. And he couldn't remember. And I said, well, it was 1969. And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, 46 years later, I'm standing on the winner's circle holding the trophy. And he asked me if I ever thought I'd ever do that. And I said, no. But it was through people like him and all the friendships I've made over the years and kept. And it's just, that's, like I say, that's one reason why I keep going drag racing, because actually my whole family and all my friends are there, And if you don't go there, you lose contact with them. You don't see them as often and stuff like that. So, it's really important to me to at this stage of my life to keep on drag racing.
Yeah, then like I tell a lot of the drivers in interviews, you just keep meeting more and more and more people over the years, and the drag racing family just gets bigger and bigger and bigger for you.
It really is, As I mentioned, this year, I started alcohol funny car racing, got my license at Cordova World Series in 1979. And to actually be inducted into the World Series Hall of Fame this year was pretty touching. And, it was one of those deals where you don't realize how many years have gone by and how many people have gone by and all that kind of stuff. And you get to the point where, you just do it because you still love it and you love the sport and stuff. But to have something honored like that, you go, okay, well, that's cool, because then you get kind of something back and you can give back to something that you've spent all your time with.
Yep. Now, when you're out on the track, Jack, do you have any pre-race rituals or superstitions?
I got the same old superstition most people do. Old drag racers, no peanuts in the pits, never do the in the right hand side. And then I do just weird stuff. Some things I do, and of course I have a real short prayer. I always say in the car, and it's just one of the deals. Not really superstitious, but you've had success with doing things, and so you keep going back to them. Okay, I got to do this because if I don't, then this won't turn out good. So it's just one of those. Those are the few things I pick up on. But I got several of them, but I just can't think of them right now.
Now, what kind of preparation goes in for you to get the car ready for a weekend of drag racing?
Well, between races, we'll take the car, dismantle, check the chassis over, clean everything, and then we actually go through and we actually check the crankshafts again. If the crankshaft's got enough runs left in it, we keep track and we put about 7 to 9 runs on. We're taking Magnaflex the crankshaft, we rebuild the superchargers, and then we'll go through all the piston and rod assemblies with the all clutch packs, which is the clutch discs and the floaters. We'll check the lever heights in the clutch again. We'll check the ring and pinion. It's a lot of preparation for races. And then, of course, now, in the wintertime, the car will be completely field stripped, and we'll go over every inch of it and clean stuff and modify things that we think need to be changed and repair all the body. The bodies really take a beat in these things, so we'll do all the repairs of the body. Maybe change the paint scheme on the car and redo it and stuff, and try to look for things we need to do to make it quicker.
Now, what are some of your favorite tracks to race on?
Some of the tracks?
Yeah, what are your favorite tracks?
Some of the ones that I really, really like is, I really don't care much for Topeka, but it is a cool racetrack, and I've had pretty good success in it. To me, it was never built to be a drag race. The drag strip, it was made for a road race. So the pit area is a long ways from the drag strip and stuff. But anyway, it's a good one. I like racing, like Chicago. I haven't been there for the last couple of years because it is so quick, and I don't want to go back there until all the cars is competitive enough. One of the tracks I got to say is my favorite because I won the most there. I haven't been back there since the NHRA into the funny car era, but that's really good. That track brought me a lot of success. Got my first national event win with NHRA, and in fact, I won 3 there. So it's one of those where any drag strip, as long as It's long, black, smooth, and wide enough for me and another guy to run down with. I love them all.
Now, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from?
I beg your pardon?
Where do you get all your fire safety equipment? Where do you get all your stuff from?
I still didn't catch what you're saying.
I said, where do you get all your fire safety equipment from, like your fire suit and all that good stuff?
Oh yeah, well we get a lot. We got to wear a lot of gear anymore. You know, is that what you're talking about, like the fire suit and
Yep,
all
yep,
the gear
yep.
we have to put on? Yeah. It takes a little time to put that stuff on. I mean, the older you get, it takes a little longer to put it on. So I always get in the car a little bit, even though it's uncomfortable. Like I always get a little sooner because my shoulders are outside and stuff. But at least when you get in the car, that's my comfort zone, and I feel good and I'm ready to go and feel safe and you know. But yes, you always got to. The safety stuff is the best stuff. They haven't come up with anything new, but I think we've got pretty much covered it now. Everything seems to be working real well.
So what's been the quickest pass you made with the funny car?
In 1,000 foot, the quickest we've gone is an 18, and in the quarter mile, the quickest we've gone is 482 back in 1,320 feet, and the fastest we've gone is 1,320 feet. And it was back then we actually set the track record, or actually the national record for NHRA for just a short time, and then Bob. Oh shoot, I can't think of the name, but anyway, we got to take it away a couple months later, but it was 314 mile an hour. And we're getting better. We just need to get the thing quicker and easier. And we had it headed in the right direction. We couldn't get in the 1,000 foot. We just need to get some more runs in.
Now, Jack, what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your racing career?
Some of the milestones are just the people I met and the places I've been able to go. You know, through drag racing, I would have never thought of any kind of travel. I've been to Canada so many times, and I've turned down going to Mexico and Aruba. I did go to Abu Dhabi with Bob Vandergriff on Hot Rod 4's top fuel car when we set the national record for the fastest guys in the Middle East. And then also got my car through Gary Denton. Was able to get my car shipped to Australia and we got to go there. So internationally, that's the big highlights of my life. And then, of course, 2 runner-up IHRA World Championships with at IHRA with against Dale Creasy, who's my best friend, and just barely lose him, which was heartbreaking, but it was great to see him win them too. So we had a lot of success, and I've been blessed with a lot of people I've met, got to do this as long as I have.
You mentioned Gary Densham. I see Steven's going to be driving.
Yeah, he's got his son driving at Las Vegas. Sometimes you just turn the keys over to the kids. Eventually, but Steve's got a job, and he's a teacher just like Gary was, and it takes a lot of his time and stuff. I don't know how much they race next year. I know that they're really focused on this sponsorship they have on the car this year at Vegas. I talk to Gary pretty much every week, and they're working on the deal. Hopefully, they can find some money and Gary can drive. He still wants to drive very much so, but they can find some money, or Steve can. He gets to drive it. Gary be just as happy, so he can still go out there and go drag racing.
Yeah, I know Steven does pretty good with that nostalgia funny car to teacher's pet.
Yes, he does. Yeah, they do real well. And he's, like I say, he's had his license in his dad's funny car there for a couple of years, so it's nice to see him in the car too. And we don't get to see many young people come out because they can't afford to come out and build a nitro funny car and compete. So we need as many young people to come back out here as we can, so we can keep the sport alive.
Yeah, you got Mike McIntyre out there now.
Yep, that's good to see too. Yeah, a lot of these nostalgia guys are making the move into nitro funny car, and that's good to see.
Yep. Now, throughout your whole career, how many accidents have you had?
How many what?
How many accidents have you had in your drag racing career?
I lost track, and I try not to keep track of them. Really, I had 3 really bad fires when I first switched to nitro funny car. A couple that actually took an ambulance ride, and so I've had some pretty severe ones. It used to be when you had a bed in the morning, you had pains in certain places you could remember. Okay, that was from going over the guardrail at San Antonio, because that's when I ran off the end of St. Louis, Missouri. And then this one hurts. My shoulder hurt because I finished at Springfield, Missouri. I took out a guardrail and destroyed a Ford Ranger pickup truck, that kind of stuff. So you try not to think about that stuff, you know what I mean? But I've had a lot of them. But I had 3 really bad fires that I'd really like to forget because fire's bad. Of course, crashing is bad too, but, those are the 3 that really woke my eyes up, and I really learned how to drive a funny car going, listening and feeling for every movement and all that stuff,
Well, knock on wood, you won't have any more accidents.
That's true. I'm working on it.
So let me ask you a few fun questions here. Outside of drag racing, do you have any other hobbies, Jack?
Have you ever had a hobby?
No. Do you have any other hobbies outside of drag racing?
I actually had to come out to the car to talk to you because I'm playing inside golf with my kids and my granddaughter right now. That's my hobby. I'm really focused on spending more time with my kids right now, and that's what I focus on. I do have some little hot rods, tinkering around with some gassers and some rat rods and stuff, but I'm focused more on spending more time with my kids.
So how many grandkids do you have?
I only have the one.
How old's the grandkid?
She'll be 4th grade. So, yeah. So, yeah.
Does she like drag racing?
No, she came to Cleveland, Illinois and watch me race, and it's too smelly and too noisy. They were going to come down to St. Louis and watch me race, but she had a baseball game she needed to go to, and so they didn't make it down there. But no, not really. Yeah, it's too noisy. Yeah, too noisy and smelly.
Yeah, I guess we won't get a junior dragster out of her then.
Yeah, I got some other kids that I would like to get involved with, put them in a junior dragster, and then I've got, of course, a daughter, my youngest daughter. I thought about doing that, but maybe put her in something else. I don't know. There's other forms of racing besides drag racing, and I really 30 miles from Knoxville, the sprint car capital of the world, and I always have some opportunities, to be involved with sprint cars, and it always interests me, but not on the top shelf. So we'll see. Just looking around, hopefully, and always be involved in some kind of motorsports.
Yeah, the kids are the future.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now, have you won a lot of trophies throughout your racing career?
Yeah. Well, in fact, I built a new small shop, put my race car in, and that kind of stuff, and the trophies, and we still haven't. We run out of walls for some of them, and we sure run out of walls with pictures with people that really meant a lot to us in our life.
Now, if you were able to time travel, Jack, and go backwards in time, would you do anything differently with your drag racing career?
Absolutely not. No, nothing. But I'll tell you what, I take that back. There'd be 2 times. 2 times. One time we were leading the top 10 when George Hoover, who was in the Drag Racing Hall of Fame, was helping me, and we left Pomona, California, in the top 10, and we had the only chaparral trailer there, just a small trailer where everybody else had semi. We went from there, and we were still in the top 10, leaving. Back then we would run, I believe we ran Pomona, Houston, Gainesville, and Pomona, Phoenix, Gainesville, and Houston, somewhere in that row. But anyway, when we left Gainesville, we were in the top 10, and I had a family. I had, kids at home, and I had a business. I was trying to run a small business, and I had to be home. And I stepped back and didn't chase drag racing. Instead, I came home, and probably was a smart thing that I did that at the time, but I regret never doing that because I really feel that it would have really excelled, and I've been a lot further drag racing than I am right now.
All right, now this next fun question should be easy for you. What's your favorite food to eat?
The favorite food?
Yeah, what's your favorite food to eat?
Well, I got to tell you, it's either Mexican or Italian. I love both of those. I really do. I can eat them daily. I really can. So, yep.
What's your favorite beverage?
I just drink water most of the time, but I do have occasion. I love a Templeton whiskey, and you can have Jeff Elliker. I finally got him to taste it, but he wouldn't go for it. But anyway, I like a drink of whiskey. Just to calm the day and shows that I accomplished something for the week, and that's about it.
All right, what's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh man, movie lover. So I love every movie. I don't know. My favorite one. Wow. I'd have to say any kind of documentary about World War II stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I just love all movies. I go to movies and watch movies constantly. So, I like most of them that are true story movies, really, to be honest.
All right, now what's your favorite music to listen to?
Favorite music? I listen to everything. It depends on the mood I'm in. I'll listen to anything from Andre Baselli, whatever the guy, for hard rock and roll. I mostly just anything I listen to new old country because that's where I'm from and born and raised around it. And that's pretty much all you can get on the radio station. So you pretty much get set in that stuff. A lot of Eric Church and a lot of Jason and Lee, And but I listen to about everything. Just depends on what mood I'm in.
Now, Jack, when you were a little kid growing up, what was your favorite cartoon?
Favorite cartoon? Oh man, we didn't hard watch all the cartoons you can't see anymore. Of course, when I was a kid, I used to go and watch the Mickey Mouse show. Most people don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I got Tony Islands actually signed my license on that credit card. He was mouse contributing on that show. The favorite cartoon basically was of course Bear and the Coyote during the 60s, 70s because man, that was had something to do with our lives, So I was into that by that time.
All right, what's been your most embarrassing moment on the track?
Most embarrassing, boy, I've had a lot of those. Probably most embarrassing was when we were leading the championship in Martin, Michigan. We didn't have the money to get there. We finally scrounged up enough. We showed the night before the season. And every qualifying run, something stupid happened. And the first run, it goes out and the steering wheel comes off. Because we cleaned the car over the weekend and they didn't get the quick latch, for the safety thing.
Yeah.
Didn't get a latch, and I stepped on the gas and the steering wheel came off my hands. And so I went over and, of course, got the wall and stuff, and I'm going, yeah, it's probably one of the worst ones I think of right now, on top of my head.
Wow. So
one thing about doing embarrassing things in a funny car, you feel better about it because you're inside, no one can really see you.
right. Yeah. All right. So, what would you consider to be the fondest memory of your drag racing career?
Fondest memory. Boy, that probably what the most touching one and was winning the Sportsman of the Year award at NHRA because that's all voted by the racers. And I didn't win the championship, but I won that, and that meant a lot. It really did. And then the second would have to be the Cordova World Series Hall of Fame. I would think those two would be right up there. And I've had more, but I don't know, when you pick and choose, it's hard to do. I've just been like I said, I've been so blessed to be able to do this every year for going on 50 years now. So yeah.
Yeah, it's nice that Cordova got the World Series back again.
Yeah, that's where it belongs. That'll be home, and that's where it started, and that's where it needs to continue because the people around that area appreciate it, and it's not about a drag race; it's about family.
Yep. Now, as far as the sport of drag racing goes, do you have anything like on a bucket list that you still want to accomplish?
I really, really want to win the NHRA National event before I quit driving. It's a tough deal. You got guys out there been out there for years that still ain't won one yet. That's got a lot more financial backing and that kind of stuff to do, and it's tough. You need to have the right day and the right amount of luck and the right amount of talent working with you. I've had such good talent with me, and I hope they can continue with me, and that would be one of the things that would really be a highlight, at least to win an NHRA national event before we quit.
Awesome. Well, I hope that happens for you next season.
I'm working on it, brother.
Yeah. Well, Jack, I want to thank you very much for taking time to do an interview today.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it, sir.
You have any final words there, or closing comments, any good stuff like that?
No, I just want to thank all my friends and just sure hope we can continue out there and be sure and come by and say hi because we're an open pit area. We're into the fan base and just race for the love of the sport. So be sure to come by.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the best of luck next season.
Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
You have a great day, Jack.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.